I wanted to make a video showing something I've never showed on video, and I just happened to think of it. This is a 63 Chevrolet Nova that back in between 77 and 82, Dad and a friend of his raced. It's got a 468 big block in it, turbo 400, and 12 bolt positive traction rear end out of a 69 Camaro, seats out of a 69 Camaro, and as you can tell from the front, from that dog box there, the motor's set back pretty far, and it's back half. Now when I say it's back half, I don't mean they went out and they bought a kit to do that. They made it. Now when they raced this car, this roll cage wasn't in it. I put this roll cage in the car because we got it back. Dad had sold it in the 80s and we bought it back in 2009. And I've been told by a bunch of people that I should have never painted this car, but the reason I did was, and it's my paint's failing, but the reason I did is I knew that if I painted it, that it would save it. That's what I was thinking, because it was getting really bad rust and everything. That's why I refused to park this car outside. The floor pans were rusty in this car when they had it, and that's fiberglass. The floor pans are all fiberglass, but just fiberglassed over the sheet metal. There's hardly nothing left of that now. I'm not sitting in it because I haven't recoated the seats in years. But there's my switch panel. I rewired this car. They were still running the original wiring, and it caught blazing once for me, so I kind of redone it. I'll try to show you it's under the hood, but I don't want to raise it. The car's got 3100 slicks on it. It's a 15 by 15 rear wheel, but if you notice, it's not narrowed. That's a widened 15-inch Monte Carlo wheel. That old school thing where you put a band in it. This ain't been up in years. That's why I don't fuck with this during the summer. So they gutted the trunk lid. Gutted everything back here. And back half the car. Now, it's a 3-link. It's a 12 bolt posi rear end. It's got a 3-link with coilovers and air shocks. It didn't have coilovers. When they raced this car, It just had the air shocks. Volkswagen gas tank. Boy, that's gotten ripe. This car ain't ran in a long time. Volkswagen gas tank, Holley fuel pump, copper fuel line from front to back, welding cable for the positive cable. I made the battery tray. It used to be over here, but I cut the rest of that out because it still had some of the trunk floor in it and it was rusting. 15-inch wide wheels without narrowing the rear end. And 3-link. I don't know if you can see it, but take my word for it, there's a Gremlin drive shaft in it that's only about 4 foot long. The center link for the 3-link to keep it from going side to side is a 3/4 inch cable tensioner. I redid the left side mount because they had it running down at an angle. When the air shocks aren't flat, that's straight. The frame for the car is 4x4 square tubing that is welded and brazed. You know, braze like brass with a acetylene torch. Everything was welded with a stick welder and a torch. Cross members brazed in for the transmission, and that's all that's holding it. I can't show you a lot of it because it's on the ground. Okay. Some people will get a kick out of this. Dual point tack drive distributor. Moroso anodized aluminum valve covers. Headers. You can see where they took a torch and cut the firewall out to make the engine fit the car. Tack drive tack. That's all zinc. Like, I don't know if you know what, I'll tell you exactly what that is, so I don't know how many people would know. Alright, so newspapers used to use zinc printing plates to make the newspaper, and the one around here, you know, they had to use it once and then get rid of it, and they used really thick plates of zinc back then. Now it's almost it's a little thicker than aluminum foil, but that's zinc plate, and it's hard. It's zinc sheet metal. It's hard as hell to bend. I can't tell, I can't show you, so don't think because of the grill. Okay. I don't know if you can see it. I've had to take the radiator out of it, but I don't know if you can see it. But that transmission cooler is a refrigerant condenser off of a old drink machine, I believe. That's what Dad said. There's the front of the motor. I hope that thing ain't stuck, and I'll get up here one of these days and crank it for you. Hood is gutted. It's just a shell. If you see the pop rivets through the front and the back corners, I braced it with aluminum angle because the hood was bowing down really bad, worse than it is at the back. That car was built by Dad and friends of his at the same time that the 70 was wrecked. It's got drum front brakes off of a V8 Nova. It's 5 lug. And aluminum drums on the back off of like a 78, 79 Z28 Camaro. The car's a hodgepodge in every way you can think of it. It's tossed together. So, I just wanted to make this video to show this car because I never had showed this car. And one of these days, I might go through the trouble of getting that car street legal. It'd be a lot easier without worrying about slicks and stuff. I could just put 32 mud tires on it and fill the holes up. This car was built the old school way. I mean, just look at how the quarters, that paint's terrible. I used a high build primer that had went bad and I didn't know it, and that paint started doing that about 3 weeks after I painted the car. The paint dried, but the primer didn't, so it got hot and it just started blistering the paint off of it in sheets. But you can see how they just cut the wheel wells. It had I can't even see the size. It had an inch smaller tire, but it's the same width. And when okay, it's a 32 14 15, 32 140 15. The ones that was on it was 31 14s. They don't make them anymore. Well, you can get them, I'm sure, but they were expensive as hell. And I got those tires used, and they had plenty of life left in them. And I never got to run those tires because the track I was running at closed. And I ran at that track all the time because it was an 8th mile car. I ran that track all the time because if you paid them your entry fee, they didn't give a damn what the car looked like. So that's why I ran it there. There wasn't an inspection because I knew that car wouldn't pass safety. And I ran it anyway. The last thing I want to show you is before I quit. You see the main loop and the 2 bars running down to the back. Well, that made it a 4-point roll cage, and that was really more than the car had because the car, when they raced it, had an exhaust pipe roll cage. Used rusty exhaust pipe that was bent and just welded together and painted black to look like a roll cage, even though if you wrecked the car with a roll cage like that, you'd have died. So I put that one in, and it's actually chrome moly, and my welds were shitty, but it was good enough, and it made me feel better because at least it had a roll cage in it that might have kept the roof over my head from killing me. But the first time I ran the car down there, before I done any of the body stuff to it, see, the engine was stuck when we got the car, so I had to get the engine back working. Well, I ran it one time down there, and the passenger door came open. I took off when the tree turned green, I went, and the passenger door popped open and didn't shut back. So and this one didn't want to open when I got back. So that told me that it torqued the car enough that it popped that door open. So that X-brace is running off the main loop of the car, tying back to the rear suspension, and bolted directly to the back of the cylinder heads on the big block. And that kept the car from twisting anymore. So sketchy at best, but it's always been fun to think back on those times. So, I want to thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of this old school drag car, and if I should try to get it drivable again. I'm sure by now the brakes have went back bad, but let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more. And if you'd like to see more oddball, strange things, let me know and I'll make a video.